Hello students, today we will be solving the IB Math AHL May 2024 paper 1 time zone 2 question number 12, that is the last question of this paper. You will be getting the other solved past paper questions of this paper and of the other papers in form of playlists on my channel NS Online Math Tutoring Classes. You will also be getting playlists where the solved past paper questions will be available based on their topics. I am Nilanjana Sanyal. I am an online IB Math AHL level tutor. In case you want to join my classes, please contact me for more details. My phone number and my website address are given at the bottom of the screen. So without any further delay, let us start answering this question number 12. The maximum mark is 20. So part E's question is, let f of x be equal to 1 minus ex whole raised to the power of negative half, where ex is less than 1 and e is not equal to 0. The nth derivative of f of x is denoted by f of this n is within brackets and of x, and n is a positive integer. Prove by induction that the nth derivative of f of x is equal to e to the power of n times 2n minus 1 factorial times 1 minus ax whole raised to the power of negative 2n plus 1 over 2, and the entire expression is getting divided by 2 to the power of 2n minus 1 times n minus 1 factorial, and n is a positive integer. It is containing 8 marks. Okay, so n is a positive integer and the smallest positive integer is 1. So we will be first of all proving that this expression is true when n equal to 1. That is, we will be getting the first derivative of f of x. Okay, so when this is the answer for the part E, when n equal to 1, if dash x is equal to, this power will be coming down, minus half and 1 minus ax raised to the power of minus half minus 1, and then I'll be differentiating this part. Okay, so 1 minus ax when differentiated with respect to x will be giving us negative a. Okay, so this is, and this is a negative sign, this is another negative sign, when multiplied together will be giving us a positive sign. So it is half or e over 2, anything you can write, half a or e over 2, and 1 minus ax minus half and minus 1 is minus 3 over 2. Okay, also when, let us see what do we get from this expression. When n equal to 1, if this is actually 1, yeah, x is equal to, this is the first derivative. Okay, so I am just substituting 1 in this expression. It is e to the power of 1 and 2 times 1 minus 1 factorial and 1 minus ax raised to the power of negative 2 times 1 plus 1 over 2, and divided by 2 to the power of 2 times 1 minus 1 times 1 minus 1 factorial. Okay, and e to the power 1 of 1 is e, and this is 2 times 1 is 2 minus 1 is 1. Okay, so 1 factorial is 1, and this one is 1 minus ax raised to the power of, this is 2 times 1 is 2 plus 1 is 3, so it is negative 3 over 2. And denominator 2 times 1 is 2 minus 1 is 1, so it is 2 to the power of 1, which is 2, and 1 minus 1 is 0, 0 factorial is 1. Okay, so this is equal to e over 2 1 minus x raised to the power of minus 3 over 2. Therefore, the statement is true when n equal to 1. Okay, this is the usual format. We first of all prove the statement to be true when the n is having the smallest possible value for the set that has been given, and then we assume that let it be true when n equal to k. So let the statement be true when n is equal to k. K is any positive integer. Okay, therefore the kth derivative of f of x should be equal to e to the power of k times 2k minus 1 factorial times 1 minus ax raised to the power of negative 2k plus 1 over 2 whole divided by 2 to the power of 2k minus 1 and k minus 1 factorial. Okay, so now to prove if k plus 1, that is when n equal to k plus 1. Okay, it is e to the power of k plus 1 and this one will be 2. Let me put this bracket, big bracket, and in place of k I'll be writing k plus 1. So k plus 1 minus 1 whole factorial times 1 minus ax raised to the power of minus 2 k plus 1 plus 1 over 2, and in the denominator it is sorry, not a, it is 2 k plus 1. This one is 2. Okay. Minus 1 and k plus 1 minus 1 factorial. Okay, so this is e to the power of k plus 1 and 2. If I expand this part, what will it be equal to? 2k plus 2, and 2 minus 1 is 1. So this will be 2k plus 1 factorial and 1 minus ax raised to the power of negative. This again expanded will be 2k plus 2 and there is this plus 1. So it will be 2k plus 3 over 2. The minus sign is outside. Okay, this whole thing is negative. It is not that only 2k is having this minus sign. It is minus 2k and minus 3. Be careful about this. Okay. And this again 2k plus 2 minus 1 will be 2k plus 1. And this is k plus 1 minus 1 is k factorial. So we have to prove is true. We have to prove that this statement is true. This statement will be true when, if the statement is true, that will imply that when n equal to k plus 1, then also the statement is true. Okay. So this is the k plus 1's derivative. Therefore, I will be differentiating this one. So, f of k plus 1 x is equal to the derivative of, with respect to x, of course, the kth derivative of f of x. Okay. So, this is equal to this entire expression, e to the power of k 2k minus 1 factorial 1 minus ax raised to the power of minus 2k plus 1 over 2 divided by 2 to the power of 2k minus 1 and k minus 1 factorial. Okay. And now we are seeing, since we are differentiating with respect to x, this whole part can be considered as the coefficient because none of them contain the x. These are all numbers. 2k minus 1 k will be having some value, 2 raised to some number will be another number, will be another even number. So a is a number raised to another number will be a number. So you are not having x in any of them. So this whole part can be considered to be the coefficient of this part which is having the x. And the coefficient stays as it is in the process of differentiation. So this is equal to a to the power of k and 2k minus 1 factorial over, I'm just separating the coefficient part, 2 to the power of 2k minus 1 and k minus 1 factorial. And now I will be differentiating this 1 minus ax raised to the power of minus 2k plus 1 over 2. And the power will be coming down. So this is minus 2k plus 1 over 2 and 1 minus ax raised to the power of minus 2k plus 1 over 2 and minus 1. And now I'll be differentiating the 1 minus ax expression. So that will be giving me minus a. Okay. Now I will be checking what do I have to prove. I have to prove there is this e to the power of k plus 1 and I am having e to the power of k over here and e to the power of 1 over here. So I can just multiply them and I'll be getting e to the power of k minus k plus 1. And another thing, how to deal with this minus sign. This minus multiplied with this minus will be giving us a plus sign. Okay. So the minus signs have been tackled and I have got e to the power of k plus 1 as well. Very good. Fine. Now I am seeing I should be having 2k plus 1 factorial and over here I am having 2k minus 1 factorial. So in order to get 2k plus 1 factorial, what should I be doing? 2k plus 1 factorial is what? 2k plus 1 factorial can be written as 2k plus 1 times 2k times 2k minus 1 factorial. And I am having this 2k minus 1 factorial. I am having this 2k plus 1. The missing part is this 2k. So I'll be multiplying both the numerator and the denominator by 2k because if I multiply, I need the 2k. So I have to multiply the numerator by 2k. But I cannot just multiply only the numerator by 2k. That will be changing the expression, the value totally. So I have to multiply both the numerator and the denominator by 2k. Okay. What I need, I'll be doing. I do not know how to manage the 2k in the denominator, but let me tackle the numerator first. Okay. So I am writing 2k plus 1 times 2k times 2k minus 1 factorial. Okay. And it is 1 minus ax raised to the power of. Now I have to there should be a minus sign in front. Okay, so let there be the minus sign in front, and I am having 2k plus 1 over 2 and plus 1. Okay, and the denominator is 2 to the power of 2k minus 1 and k minus 1 factorial, and I should be multiplying the denominator also with 2k. And you see, we needed the 2k plus 1. Okay, so we needed the 2k plus 1. Okay, okay. How could I forget about this 2? This should be in the denominator. So very nice. Yeah, I have got the 2, the extra 2 that I needed. That's very good. E to the power of k plus 1, and this is 2k plus 1 factorial, and 1 minus ax, and minus this can be written as 2 over 2. 1 can be written as 2 over 2, and so if you add them, it will be 2k plus 3 over 2. Okay, which I needed. Okay, it is 2k plus 3 over 2. And in the denominator, I want 2 to the power of 2k plus 1. So this is 2 to the power of 2k minus 1, and this is plus 1, and this is plus 1. Times by 2, times by 2. Okay. So this is 2 to the power of 2k plus 1 it will be, and k times k minus 1 factorial will be k factorial. So this is e to the power of k plus 1, 2k plus 1 factorial, 1 minus ax minus 2k plus 3 divided by 2 whole divided by 2 to the power of k plus 2k plus 1 rather, 2 to the power of 2k plus 1 times k factorial. Okay, and now I'll be writing just the final few sentences. So we have proved this. This is proved. Therefore, the statement is true for n equal to 1, and whenever it is true for n equal to k, where k is a positive integer, it is proved that the statement is true for n equal to k plus 1. Okay. Therefore, by the principle of mathematical induction, we can say that the statement is true for all n belonging to the set of positive integers. Okay, so this should be your answer for the subpart A, and we have got the full 8 marks. Okay, subpart B. By using part A or otherwise, show that the Maclaurin series for f of x equal to 1 minus x raised to the power of negative half to and including the x square term is this. It is containing 2 marks. And f of x, this is this, and the nth derivative of f of x expression was this one. Okay, so subpart B, what is the Maclaurin series? It is f of x is equal to f0 plus x times f dash 0, that is the first derivative, plus x square over 2 f double dash 0. I am stopping after x square over 2 because they are asking for terms up to and including x square. So I will not be proceeding any further. And now I will be getting the f0, f dash 0 and f double dash 0 values first of all. So f0 is equal to 1 minus a times 0 raised to the power of negative half. A times 0 is 0 and 1 raised to any power is 1. Okay. So f dash 0 is equal to, now I will be substituting 1 in place of n. Okay. Because this is 1. And of course 0 in place of x. So it is e raised to the power of 1 and 2 times 1 minus 1 factorial and 1 minus e times 0 raised to the power of negative 2n plus 1. So it is 2 times 1 plus 1 over 2. Okay, 2n plus 1 over 2. So this is this, and in the denominator it is 2 to the power of 2n minus 1. So 2 to the power of 2 times 1 minus 1 and 1 minus 1 factorial. Okay, so this is equal to a to the power of 1 is e, and 2 times 1 is 2 minus 1 is 1, 1 factorial is 1, and this is a times 0, so 1 raised to whatever power it is, I don't care, it will be 1. And what about the denominator? 1 minus 1, 0 factorial is 1, and this is 2 times 1 is 2 minus 1 is 1, 2 to the power of 1 is 2. So this is a over 2, f dash 0, and f double dash 0. So it will be, now x will be equal to 0 and n will be equal to 2. So it is e squared and 2 times 2 minus 1 factorial and 1 minus e times 0. It is, just a moment. Yes, 1 minus e times 0 raised to the power of minus 2 times 2 plus 1 divided by 2 over 2 to the power of 2 times 2 minus 1 and 2 minus 1 factorial. Okay, so this is e square is there. 2 times 2 is 4 minus 1 is 3 factorial. Okay, so 3 factorial. Okay, first of all, let me write 3 factorial. And this part is 1, so I'm not writing that again. And this is 4 minus 1 is 3, and 2 to the power of 3 is 8. Or I can write first of all 2 to the power of 3, and this is 1 factorial. So this is actually 3 factorial is 3 times 2 times 1, so it is 6 a square, and 2 cube is 8. Okay. Okay, so 8 is there, so I am not changing this, I am not simplifying this fraction to 3 over 4. Let me keep this as it is, but I am having 3 over here. Or let me just cancel these. Let's see what happens next. 3a square over 4. Okay, so now I will be just substituting. Therefore, f of x is equal to 1 minus ax raised to the power of negative half is equal to f0. f0 is 1 plus x times f dash 0. It is a over 2 plus it is x square over factorial 2, which this is actually factorial 2. I can write this as 2 because factorial 2 is 2, and this is 3a square over 4. So this one is okay. So, and there will be other terms also. So this is 1 plus, how did they write? Half ax and this. Okay. 1 plus half ax plus 3 over 8 a square x square and so on. Okay. Fine. Subpart C. Hence, show that 1 minus 2x raised to the power of negative half times 1 minus 4x raised to the power of negative half is this thing. There is a common denominator of 2 and we are having terms up to x squared. Okay. So, it is C. 1 minus 2x raised to the power of negative half. Therefore, A is equal to 2. Okay. So, 1 minus 2x raised to the power of negative half is equal to, I will be substituting 2 in place of A. 1 plus half times 2x plus 3 over 8 times 2 square x square plus dot dot dot. So this is equal to 1 plus, these two will be getting cancelled and you will be having 1 plus x, and this is 4. 2 square is 4. So, and this is 8. So this will be plus 3 over 2 x square. Okay. And for 1 minus 4x raised to the power of negative half, E is equal to 4. Therefore, 1 minus 4x raised to the power of negative half, now I'll be substituting 4 in place of x, is equal to 1, and they have asked to use the subpart B's expression, hence. Okay. So, plus half times 4x plus 3 over 8 times 4 square x square. So this is 2 and this 4 square is 16. So this is also 2. So this is 1 plus 2x plus 3 times 2 is 6 plus 6x square plus dot dot dot. Therefore, 1 minus 2x raised to the power of negative half times 1 minus 4x raised to the power of negative half. Let me see what have they given. Okay. Okay, there is a denominator of 2. Okay. Fine. So, this should be approximately, this is actually 1 plus x plus 3 over 2 x squared plus dot 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 times 1 plus 2x plus 6x squared plus dot dot dot. And we need terms up to x squared. So, it is 1 times 1 is 1 and 1 times 2x is 2x. 1 times 6x squared is 6x squared. X times 1 is x. X times 2x is 2x squared. And I'll not be multiplying x with 6x squared. That will be giving me a term containing x cube which I don't need. So I stop. Over here 3 over 2x squared times 1 is 3 over 2x squared. And again I stop now because x squared times x will be x cube and x squared times x squared will be x to the power of 4, which we do not need. So this is this. Okay, and now I am having what? I need a common denominator, but before that, so it is 1 and 2x plus x is 3x and 6x squared plus 2x squared is 8x squared and 3 over 2 is 1.5. 8 plus 1.5 is 9.5. So this will be 19 over 2. 9.5 is 19 over 2. So this is plus 19x squared over 2. Okay. Which is, now I will be having the common denominator, it is 2. So 1 can be written as 2 over 2. Therefore this 3x can be written as 6x over 2. So it is 6x and plus 19x squared. Let me check. 2 plus 6x plus 19x squared. Right. 2 plus 6x plus 19x squared over 2. Okay. So we have shown this. Now subpart D. Given that the series expansion for 1 minus x raised to the power of negative half is convergent for absolute value of x less than 1, state the restriction which must be placed on x for the approximation of 1 minus 2x raised to the power of negative half times 1 minus 4x raised to the power of negative half is approximately equal to 2 plus 6x plus 19x square over 2 to be valid. This containing just a single mark. Okay. So, an Ax, absolute value of Ax is less than 1. Okay. So, since absolute value of Ax is less than 1, therefore, if you are not comfortable with the absolute value notation, I am just removing that. Okay, because I've seen many students getting confused with this absolute value notation. Absolute value of Ax is less than 1 means Ax is between negative 1 and positive 1. Okay. So, and of course, Ax is not equal to 0 because there is the number 0 between negative 1 and positive 1. So, A is not equal to 0. The question said A is not equal to 0. So, Ax is not equal to 0. So, now, therefore, 1 minus 2x raised to the power of negative half should be having Ax is what now? 2x. Should be convergent within this interval. 2x is less than negative 1 and positive 1, or x, I am dividing the 3 parts by 2 because I want the x. So x is greater than negative half but is less than positive half. Okay. For 1 minus 4x to the power of negative half, it should be 4x is less than greater than negative 1 and less than positive 1. So this implies, again, I am dividing all the 3 parts by 4, will be giving me x is greater than negative 1 over 4 but is less than positive 1 over 4. Okay. And now I have to combine these two. If I think about the number line, this is the number line and this is maybe the 0 point. This one is negative 1/4. This one is positive 1/4. This one is negative half. This one is positive half. Okay. So, for 1 minus 2x to the power of negative half, this whole region is valid, not these two endpoints. These are two hollow circles. Okay. And for the 1 minus 4x raised to the power of negative half, this portion is taken. Okay. So I have to, because I am multiplying both of them, I have to take the region which is common to both of them. And which region is common to both of them? This part. Okay. Because this part, there is not, this arrow is not there. This part is present in this line also. Okay. So, therefore, 1 minus 2x raised to the power of negative half, if you give this number line, it will be explaining your answer. So, negative half is convergent within x is greater than negative 1/4 but is less than positive 1/4, or if you want to write it in absolute value notation, it will be absolute value of x is less than 1/4. Okay. And if you see, do we have to write so many lines for just a single mark? No, of course you do not have to, but you have to write the answer. I have written so many lines for the sake of explanation. Okay. And now we come to the final subpart, subpart E. Use x equal to 1/10 to determine an approximate value for root 3. Give your answer in the form C/D, where C and D are positive integers. It is containing 5 marks. Okay, fine. So, x equal to 1/10. Okay. X equal to 1/10. X equal to 1/10. So, therefore, 1 minus 2x raised to the power of negative half times 1 minus 4x raised to the power of negative half is, I'm writing this expression first of all, 2 plus 6x plus 19x square over 2 should be equal to 1 minus 2 times 1/10 raised to the power of negative half and 1 minus 4 times 1/10 raised to the power of negative half. 2 plus 6/10 plus 19/100 over 2. Okay. And now this is 1/5. And 1 minus 1/5 is 4/5. 4/5 raised to the power of negative half. And this one is 2/5. So 1 minus 2/5 is 3/5 raised to the power of negative half. And let me make the common denominator as 100. Okay. This is paper 1, you cannot use the calculator. This is 200 plus 60 plus 19 over 2. So this implies, and this is minus half. Okay, first of all, let me just combine them. It is 4 times 3, or else let me just change this to half instead of minus half. So it is 5 over 4, and I'm just separating 5 to the power of half and 4 to the power of half. Okay, because 4 over 5 raised to the power of negative half can be written as 5 over 4 raised to the power of half. And you know this law of indices, A over B raised to the power of m is equal to A raised to the power of m over B raised to the power of n. This is the law that I am applying over here, and this one is the previous law is A to the power of m is equal to 1 over A to the power of negative m. This is the law that I have used over here. I have just previously A, which was this is A over 1. So 1 has come up and A has gone down. So same over here. 4 was in the numerator, now it has come down in the denominator, and this 5 has moved up. So the sign of the power has got changed. Previously this was positive m, now it has got changed to negative m. Okay, so these are the two rules of indices that I have applied, and this is 5 to the power of half and 4 to the power of half, and also 5 to the power of half and 3 to the power of half. Okay, now you see 3 to the power of half is root 3, because just by looking at this question, many students get confused from where is this root 3 coming? How can we get the value of root 3 from this expression? We are not seeing root 3 or 3 anywhere, 2, 6, 19. Where is the 3? We cannot see 3 anywhere. But you just substitute, and you have to substitute over here. You do not have any other equation that you can use. So you have to use this equation, and you just substitute x as 1 over 10, you will be getting root 3. Okay, so this is equal to, this is 260 plus 19 is 79. So this is 279 over 2 times 100 is 200. Okay, and this implies this is not equal to, rather this is this, and 5 to the power of half is root 5. Root 5 times root 5 is 5. And 4 to the power of half is 2. And since they have asked for root 3, I am writing 3 to the power of half is as root 3, and this is 279 over 2 times 100. And I can multiply both the sides by 2. I am always writing this equal to sign. It is not the equal to sign. Okay, and then I can just cross multiply. It is root 3 equal to 5 times 100 over 279. So root 3 is approximately equal to 500 over 279. See, they have asked to give the answer of root 3, value of root 3, or the approximate value of root 3 in the form C over D, where C and D are positive integers. So 500 and 279 both are positive integers. Okay. So this completes our answering of question number 12. Thank you for staying with me till the end. Please like and share this video in case you have liked my explanation. And please do not forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel in case you have not subscribed to my channel till now. It will be motivating me, and it will be telling the YouTube that my video is worth watching. So the YouTube will be showing my video to more number of students. So it will be increasing the reach of my video, which will be helping me a lot. And we meet again very soon in our next session. We'll be starting to solve a new paper. Till then, bye.